Oklahoma every night, my honey lamb and I sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making lazy circles in the sky. We know we've been...
Woo, all right. What a great way to start off this conference. My favorite song. Welcome to Oklahoma. Great to have all of you here today. What a wonderful crowd we have. And Steve, we appreciate your leadership in helping us with the Southern Republican Leadership Conference and all your team that has worked so very hard over the past year to put together this outstanding conference in Oklahoma City in the state of Oklahoma. And we are so excited to have this conference here. Now, I want to tell you, first of all, that this conference represents the who's who in our nation in conservative leadership. You'll have the great opportunity to hear the very best, brightest, boldest, innovative ideas of how we can bring America back to its greatness. And I think all of us want to see that. I am very proud of our Republican Party. And unlike the Democrat Party, we have a very deep, wide, diverse field of Republican presidential potential candidates, not all of them announced yet. But just think about how wide and deep our field is of candidates that are potentially running for President of the United States of America in the Republican Party. You have governors, you have possibly U.S. congressmen, U.S. senators, you have entrepreneurs, you have men, you have a woman. I mean, what a diverse field that we have that's running for potential president of the United States. And that is so exciting. And guess what? The Democrat Party has one. And what does that say about conservatives in America? It says that we have great candidates and we have great ideas and we can prove that our policies work. In fact, all you have to do is look around at the 31 states that are governed by Republican governors across our nation. And you can see the results of conservative policies. And one thing I like about our candidates that are all running for president right now or going to be announcing for president is they are out and about across the nation. They're talking to people, they're going to events, they're traveling day after day. They're not afraid to talk to the press. They're not picking out who their crowd is. They're taking their message, they're taking the issues, they're talking about solutions to problems and challenges facing America, and they're not afraid to do that, unlike a person in the other party. So I'm very proud of that. Hope you've noticed that too. So that's why this event is so important. Not only for the Republican Party of our nation, but it's important for certainly our state of Oklahoma. And we are so proud to have everyone here because we are making history in Oklahoma. And by the way, to all the candidates and all of our guests that are here today, you are in the reddest state in the nation. You're in friendly territory. And it's quite possible that with all the potential candidates that are here, and some that I've already announced, and some that have not been able to attend this particular meeting, but are certainly going to be looking at the presidential run, that we might have even the next president of the United States that will be visiting here this weekend. And that's real exciting too. So over the next couple of days, we're going to have close to 2,000 people that will be here at this conference. We hope that you can attend the breakout sessions and certainly hear all of our wonderful candidates and potential candidates that will be speaking at this conference. Over 140 national and international media outlets are focusing this weekend on Oklahoma City. Very exciting. We have 14 southern states that are represented here at this conference. So this is a great time to be in Oklahoma. So I've got to ask this question because as governor of Oklahoma, I always like to bring new people to our great state, and we are a great state. It's a great place to live, work, and raise a family. And if you're looking for a place to invest, come to Oklahoma. But I got to ask this question. How many of you are from out of state? Can I see a show of hands? Oh, good. Welcome. Good to have all of you here. Now, we all know that the eyes of the world are upon us, and we are very fortunate, as Steve Fair just said, to have every single statewide elected official that's a Republican, a majority in our House, a majority in our Senate, our U.S. congressmen, and our U.S. senators, because we have shown time and time again that conservative policies do work, and the Oklahoma people have acknowledged that. In fact, if you look at the last two presidential elections, just to give you a little factual information, the last two presidential elections, frankly, did not vote for President Obama. In fact, President Obama lost every single county in the state of Oklahoma the first time he ran, all 77 counties, and the second time he ran for re-election, he lost all 77 counties in the state of Oklahoma. So this is a great time. And we all know that conservative policies are important. And this weekend, you're going to have a great opportunity to hear from a wide, diverse range of ideas, experts in their fields, people who are very accomplished, great leaders of our nation. They're going to be talking to you about common sense solutions for our nation, how to get America back on track, how to make sure that we grow our economy, protect our national security, and how we make sure that government is doing its job of being a smaller, limited government, giving us our individual freedoms and liberties that we all want to protect in our nation. Now, let me just brag for just a moment, because I have the podium. You're in Oklahoma, you're in our state. When I took office, and this isn't about me, it's about having Republican, conservative leadership at all the different positions that I just mentioned. But 5 years ago, back in 2010, leading up to the 2011 election, Oklahoma had a 7% unemployment rate. We were broke. We only had $2.03 in our savings account. Now Oklahoma has a 3.9% unemployment rate, 7% to 3.9% unemployment rate. And the last unemployment numbers for Oklahoma City alone was 3.3% unemployment rate. Last year, we had the fourth fastest growing economy in the nation, and our median income grew by twice the national average. And so we are proving in our state, as you'll hear these other candidates prove, that conservative policies do matter and they do make a difference, and who's in the White House makes a huge difference for our nation. So we are very proud that you're all here today. Now, as I mentioned, we have a very deep field of candidates that are here. It is my great pleasure to be able to introduce one of my great friends, and that is the governor of the state of Wisconsin, Governor Scott Walker. We are so proud to have Scott Walker here today. But I'm going to read his bio, so hold on just a minute. Just hold on to your seats. Hold on to your seats, because I want to tell you a little bit about Scott. All right. You all seen him on TV. Here he is in person. Isn't this great? Well, I want to tell you just a few moments about Scott Walker, because I know Scott Walker. Scott Walker and I ran for office, began running for governor back in 2009, finished through our campaigns in 2010. He was elected in 2011. And when he was elected to the state of Wisconsin as their governor, they had gone through a very tough time. In fact, they had gone through a tough time with their budget, with their unemployment rates. He came with a lot of great experience, not only as a county executive, but also worked for several other entities that he brought that experience to. And I want to just tell you where they were when he took office. When he took office, Wisconsin had a $3.6 billion deficit in their budget. Their unemployment rate was very high, 8%, 9%, 9% when he took office. Very challenging for him. And as you all know, Governor Walker took on some very tough challenges and proposed some very bold reform for his state his first year in office. He didn't just talk the talk, he talked and walked the walk, both at the same time. he enacted bold reforms in his state that transformed his economy. And they went from having a $3.6 billion budget deficit to having a $1 billion surplus in their economy. Creating over 100,000 new jobs, 17,000 new businesses in their state, and bringing $2 billion of tax relief to the state of Wisconsin. Now, you might have seen that he had some things going on when he was trying to transform that economy and trying to bring about some reform. So he tackled a big issue that was holding Wisconsin back from having the type of economy, from having their citizens having the kind of life that they wanted to have. And that was a little issue that dealt with collective bargaining and with their public employees and their pension systems and their health care systems. And they proposed some big, bold reform in their state. And of course, they had protesters. In fact, I think if I read right, it was for several weeks, they had over 100,000 people that came to the state capitol into Wisconsin to express their ideas, not only from across their state, but from other states and across the United States. And Scott had a big challenge on his hands, but he kept talking to the people of Wisconsin about why it mattered to get their economy back on track, to get their budget in better fiscal shape, what it would mean to their pocketbooks, what it would mean to the businesses, what it would mean to their employees of their state and to their economy. And he was able to get that legislation passed to turn around his economy. But in the meantime, some decided they wanted to recall him. And so he went through another election. And they spent, I think he'll tell you the full story, but it was tens of millions of dollars trying to defeat him. So you're looking at a man that not only had his first election, but he had a second election, then he had a third election. He's the only governor. He's the only governor in the United States that had 3 elections in 4 years. So it's quite remarkable that he would go through that time period. So what I can tell you about Scott Walker is he has great tenacity, he's courageous, he's not afraid to tackle the hard issues, to propose solutions to issues facing our states, and that same tenacity that he has if and when he gets into the presidential election, which I think I may know why he's here in Oklahoma, he will bring that to the United States. So we are so excited to have Governor Scott Walker in the state of Oklahoma.